You shouldn't give a damn. Okay, let me change my verbiage. It's not that you shouldn't give a damn, but you should be. Have you ever seen these comedians? They tell this joke about how when they come home from work, their wife or their girlfriend is just talking, talking, talking about their day. Um, um, my the lady's talking about how her boss is being difficult, how her best friend is doing crazy stuff, and she's just talking, 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 talking. But the guy's literally indifferent to it. He's like, "Uh-huh, that's right. I told you that bitch is crazy." Shout out to Chris Rock. Yeah, that's a Chris Rock joke about how he comes home, his woman is talking his ear off. He's not listening, but he's just nodding his head. Uh-huh. That's right. I told you that bitch is crazy. That's how that's the emotional intelligence you have to have in the last days. You really think you're supposed to cry a river over every damn tragedy? I remember during the so-called pandemic, I was talking to a loved one and they were telling me how, oh my God, these are souls that are dying, and how he just couldn't believe it. And, if that's how that loved one felt, mercy to them. But guess what? I did not give a shit about one motherfucker who died in the pandemic. I don't know one motherfucker who died in the pandemic. Listen, the church has groomed us to be these hyper emotional, cry at the drop of a dime people. And it's good to have a sensitive heart. It's good to feel. It's good to be in tune with the spirit. But the Most High never called us to be these raving, constantly crying people because of his judgment. And see, that's the part the church stopped teaching. The church stopped teaching that everything we see is God's judgment. That nobody wants to swallow that. Everything we see is God's judgment. And even if you don't understand it, it is why would you take on anxiety? Why would you take on care? Why would you take on fear? Why would you take on worry? That's not going to profit you in these last evil, wicked days to be an emotional wreck, to be an emotional crash out. Shout out to a brother, man. I remember when the pandemic was going on, when George Floyd was going on, it was a brother in Great Millstone. I don't know his name, but he made a video about emotional intelligence and the truth. I don't I'm I am an extremely empathetic person. Empathy means you understand. Sympathy means you've literally experienced it. I can empathize, but don't ask me to sympathize and don't ask me to give a damn, bro. You know, the scripture says to love mercy. I wish mercy for everybody. I wish mercy for those attempting to figure this thing out and get right. But and see, that's also one of the tricks of the enemy to keep your algorithm filled with such chaos that you are an emotional wreck, to keep your evening news filled with such chaos that you are an emotional wreck. Listen, if you've read the book, you know that judgment has to come. And by no means am I saying that I am prepared for judgment. I need mercy for my own soul chiefly. But I understand that as Christ said, these things must be. These things must be, you know? So yeah, man, don't get bent out of shape about this stuff, man. Just make sure you're repentant. Just make sure your heart is broken towards God and your own sin, man. Shalom. We don't have time to be uh uh crying a river about these things, man. You you know, we've prayed for these days. We've cried for these days. We, we've told the Most High that we desire the kingdom. So now what? We're going to get nervous when we see that it's upon us, when we see that he's bringing the destruction. Shalom. Peace.